in a dream. One swimming up, one swimming downstream. The Pisces life, 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 the Pisces life.
Yeah. This is good stuff. It is certainly about community. And some people are so wrapped up in their regular day-to-day life and trying to manage their jobs, especially if they are still essential workers and remote schooling and all the things, if you got somebody on your job acting brand new, then you might not just be focused enough to plan your rations appropriately. So let the people who plan and stay friendly and helpful. This is about the barter system. You know what I'm saying?
It's about the barter system, sis. Your pandemic rations, you see. Now, the Pisces Life listeners, welcome to the 148th episode. We got to get right to it, baby. We're trying to help you live out here because the cases in both Illinois and Michigan are out of control and climbing. Cook County, what are you doing? Cook County. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you specifically. And we're not isolated. Sis, the numbers are crawling all over the world. Up. Deaths. They are pulling out coolers again in the high metropolitan populous cities such as New York. They pulling out coolers to put deceased from the COVID in that area. We
are back. We're back to where we were.
This is March again, except it's December according to the calendar. Sis, other news, because we're talking about news, right? Mm-hmm. Do you know that according to NBC News and also cross-reference with the FAA and TSA, over 900,000, and yes, I'm leaning in so you can see me, girl. 900,000 people traveled over Thanksgiving. Sir, ma'am, children, grandma, pawpaw, everybody was in the sky.
Pets.
But girl, they didn't even leave Fluffy at home. They didn't leave him at home. Everybody had a CNI dog. You hear me?
You see?
Everybody had an emotional support pet.
Just couldn't help yourself. Just couldn't help yourself. Just out here, just catching a cup of COVID like you getting a cup of coffee. Just
have mercy, sis. I was so disappointed. Sis, can you help me understand why are grown folks this hard-headed?
Because grown people I have several theories here. Let me just go down a couple of them. First of all, that the grown people are in the space of, I'm grown, you can't tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? People trying to exhibit their power in ways that they feel like they can control. So I'm going to not wear my mask. I'm going to still live my life. If I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it all the way until you get it. And then you be sorry you got it, or you potentially gave it to somebody else that you love and you see them struggling. Like, that's just kind of flawed, but to each his own. There are also people who believe they've already had it. And so they feel like they're immune. I remember back in October, I had a runny nose and my eyes was itching. I had the COVID. I probably didn't have the COVID. So they feel like they are empowered to
be out
here in these streets, to be out here because I already had COVID. Now, mind you, they ain't had NAM tests, no type of verification of antigens, pathogens, anything. You ain't even had your flu shot. You just like, I'm a member when I was coughing in November, and I was like, baby,
it was a dry cough.
It was a dry cough. I was like,
Look, now they asked Google before the conversation, Google, what's the symptoms of COVID? See, I done had 5 of these things.
Right. I just had that right here. I know I done had it. So we got those people. And then we just have the reckless and irresponsible.
Oh my, that's a big group.
That's a large group. It's a large group because they don't care about themselves. They don't care about yourself. They don't care about nothing. They all about having a fun. I would like to report on a story, sis, about the reckless that's just out here in the world. I believe there was a super spreader event this past weekend. That was a gathering of swingers. At a swingers convention of sorts. And the said swingers, 45 of them, and it's only what? It's Wednesday?
It's
Wednesday. The weekend was just 3 days ago. Super spreader event. Those 45 of them swinging and singing. And full of COVID. Just
my.
Why? Of all the things that you could be doing right now, today, of all the things, I'm gonna list where does I'm going to attend a swingers convention in a pandemic. How does that fall high on the it was in New Orleans. It was in Nolans, y'all.
Oh Lord, not NOLA.
Come look.
Now we've been to NOLA. You know we know NOLA insides and the outs. Thanks to the Essence Festival.
And NOLA ain't recovered from Katrina.
Hello.
There are still houses with watermarks on them.
And boards on the places that used to be doors and windows.
But you gonna go.
And swang on. Baby, we have told you here at the Pisces Life what was up back in March. Didn't we not read the very first article that came out? Oh, yes, you can get COVID from getting that thing. So while you out here with your body, yada, you need to be up in the house.
That's what happened.
You need to be in the house.
See, they received poor information, sis.
Poor information.
They thought that if they learned the Megan Thee Stallion body yada TikTok dance, and if they do that in a group, the Bible say when two or more. So they thought if two or more got together and did the body yada TikTok, that they was gonna be immune from this here thing called coronavirus. What type of judgment? What?
Oh my.
Can you imagine the conversation, sis?
Oh my.
Can you imagine the conversation?
Hey, imagine going to the doctor. Go ahead though.
Right. No. Hey, babe. I mean, I know it's all, corona and everything. You know what I'm saying? But
you right.
But
you right, boo.
But it's gonna be popping, you know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, I went it there, boo. I went it there. I'm tired of your thing anyway. I can use a new D in these parts, in these quarantines.
Right, be like, all right, man, let's get it popping. We gonna get it. I hope we see that other couple that we had ran into when we was in, Miami, you know what I'm saying?
Because he fine like that. I can't wait to see. Girl, stay in the house. And here's the thing. Now, see, this is what my great auntie done told me. See, Pisces Life listeners, I've had a loss in my family, which has brought us all back together via Zoom and phone and life, where we driving by the driveways to check up on people and whatnot. But this is what my great auntie told me. Now, mind you, this is almost a 90-year-old woman who has told me, listen, when you lived as long as I've lived and you seeing things you ain't never seen before in your life right now, in this year of our Lord 2020, let me let you say something out the way here. Mm-hmm. You tell me that you got you a boyfriend over here. Oh, I done heard it. Now she missed the part that we done broke up, right? Right. She done missed that part. I didn't update her. She missed that part.
miss it.
But she got down to this. She said, what you gonna tell them people up at that medical place when you walk in there talking about, well, what you think you got the COVID from? And them people that be tracing the contacts that you done had. And here you go. Well, I done been with Tyrone and Kevin, and I done gave old Dante a piece of this old nook. I said, well, now I done had my medicine tonight. Oh, go right ahead, Auntie. I say nothing. I soak up this wisdom, ma'am.
Yes. Wisdom.
When she finished that conversation, girl, I went and said, take down that Bumble profile that you done rewrote 200 times. Don't you put that. Don't you. Stop looking at Tinder. Uninstall the app and bring your butt in the house. We going back to old school, sis.
Yes.
Where boys call you and we kiki all night long. And we do that old Cedric the Entertainer. You sleep? Nah, I'm sleepy. But I ain't sleep. You know, from Comic View days.
Right, absolutely.
But sis, my great auntie really broke it down. She said, what you gonna tell these medical peoples? Now that's the conversation I'm worried about. What do you say? Well, so I know this is gonna sound different. Because I imagine it was Karen and them that did this. I don't want to think it was Tyrone and Keisha up in there. I don't.
Oh, I wish I knew.
I wish I knew. This is the one time where race was relevant.
Yes. We must investigate.
We must. I ain't seen no photos. But this was one time where the conversation, well, basically we're swingers. And see, you need to be ran for everything. COVID, clap, chlamydias.
All of it.
Sis, of all the things they can do, you want to be swinging out here.
You send me swinging.
I'm rethinking that song.
You send me swinging.
And how much do you see? This is why I can't do no polyamorous. I can't do no sharing. Because let me tell you something, sis, right now. You come in this house as my man in the middle of a pandemic and suggest we get to throwing it with other people. I'm going to look at you like, you don't love me at all. All this dewy flower.
Not at all.
You trying to get it sick?
You trying to
get the dewy flower
of here, trying to kill the dewy flower.
That's my dewy flower.
Some may want that, So, we mean it, figuratively. You don't want it literally, right? The NOLA.com first reported the outbreak on Tuesday.
Oh my!
This is coming from the Washington Post. That after event organizer Bob Hannaford recently published a blog post detailing the safety failures that led to the outbreak. Bob Hannaford, as not to make assumptions, but Bob Hannaford seems like he might be married to a Karen Hannaford. I'm just
right. He don't sound like kinfolk by the last name. But
we just know we don't know. We just hope that all those folks who decided that they had enough of non-swinging time.
I imagine that's hard on a swinger during the pandemic. You want to get out there. You already taking a risk swinging it on top. Folks act like they don't want to use condoms, like they don't want to use masks. I don't understand the irresponsibility of grown folks.
Oh my goodness. Sis.
Oh, I wish I could preach tonight.
Come on, sis. Lay a word on
I wish I could preach tonight.
Lay a word.
I don't understand why grown folk are determined to take their very own lives, and mine too, and yours, and you listening under the sound of my voice. I don't understand why they determined. Ooh, sis, by any means necessary, these folks wants to get it. They wants to get it in. They want to get it in over here.
Over here.
Get it in over there.
Over there.
They want to get it in with him and them. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for the tea. I wasn't ready for the fun. I wasn't ready. You broke the whole.
Why do people go to this event? I don't know.
I needed every one of these laughs. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, Father, your word said it be laughter like medicine to my soul tonight. I wasn't ready. Girl, you came in with the Oh, Father God. You know, this is one of them moments where I'll close with what my great auntie said. Baby, we gonna know after a while.
After a while.
We gonna know after a while. We gonna know after a while. Speaking of other folks wilding out, sis, and you've been in the internet streets and being, you know, we keep up on the news because our podcast seeks to be informative. Yes. We give you the news, our style, our way, with our wit, with these two Pisces, you know, these two PhDs, these two sorors. Yes. I mean, we give it to you how we get it now.
We do.
But, you know, I might have missed something. But has Atlanta been declared COVID-free? Has Atlanta Black celebrities been declared what's the word I'm looking for? Inoculated or vaccinated? Exempted? Wakandified on the Oh, I'm speaking specifically now. Somebody told me, they said, how you go in the shade room and shade the shade room? Sorry, but this I did get from the shade room. And now and then they come out with something, you know, that catches my eye, useful.
Yes.
And this is a PSA. Reginae Carter, Lil Wayne, and Toya Wright's daughter. Is it Toya Wright Rush? Did she marry that man?
I think she married the young man.
Okay, very nice, very nice. The child had a party.
Oh boy.
She had a party. She back with YFN WTRQW-3, some rapper. I don't know. YFN, Lucci Gucci, Maine. I don't. His name is something. It's a lot of letters.
It's a lot of letters. Yes.
We aunties, we done told you that. I don't know the boy. I don't know him.
I don't know his mom and them either. So
me either. So anyhow, they back together and whatnot. And he put together this star-studded party. So according to the shade room, because you know the shade room is everywhere. Even when the sun ain't shining, baby, the shade is shining, all right. It's shining the lights, okay?
Yes.
And so the party was lit. Now, if I knew Reginae Carter back when I was 22, we'd have been best friends and Birkin bag heads together.
Yes, we would have been having a great time.
We would have been having a great time. She's VIP.
VIP.
I take nothing from that child. And she's a child to me. She's a grown woman. I get it. Don't get to getting in these mentions at the aunties.
We don't mean no disrespect. We don't mean
no disrespect. She's a baby to us.
Yes.
But the party was lit. When I tell you everybody who was anybody and they thought that they might have been somebody too was in that place. To capacity. I saw not one mask. I saw not one mask. I didn't see the pre-party. fall I know, they could have had that little temperature sensor that you come on through,
Correct.
Maybe people were swabbing the nose or spitting in the cup because we have a reliable saliva test and whatnot. I mean, Zanique was there. I'm calling these kids names like I know these, like my nieces.
And she's pregnant.
Very pregnant. And, I put a pause on that. Hold that one. Put that mental post-it note right there. But the party was lit. Candy Burris and Todd Tucker was there looking like 1990. She came in as Little Kim, which was the theme. They were on point. She came in with a bathing suit with tights and a fur coat and no mask. Todd came in, I don't know, I think he got it mixed up. He went back like 1973 Easter, Huggy Bear Easter.
Oh, yeah, okay. He was a little off. He was
he was off with his costume, but he did what he could. Point being, I didn't see, baby, they twerked. They worked, they irked, they jerked, they addy body, daddy. They shot the club up. Not literally, but the songs where they pop. Right. Regine performed this song. Lil Wayne did. They had a great time. I saw not one mask.
Not a one mask.
Atlanta. Family, kinfolk, and I'm gonna put skinfolk in there too. I need you to vote. And I need you to be alive and COVID free in order to do that.
Come on. We still have things going on.
Girl, somebody tell me why the club, y'all tearing the club down. Black celebrities, I'm looking specifically at you, and then I'm going to take an even harder look at Atlanta. I mean, Black royalty, sis, is out here. I thought about Candy and Todd going home, and I said, oh, God, little Blaze Tucker just turned 1.
Yes, a little baby just turned 1.
You don't want to... Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, it's so much to think about. And again, we don't know people's status. So maybe the people who didn't have on masks have already had and recovered from COVID. The infection rate, has tripled in the last week in a lot of the hotspot areas.
Yes.
And so there's so many unknowns. So maybe they feel like since I've already had it, I don't have to wear a mask. But we know that you can get it again.
Which brings me to my point B, that Post-it note on this. Zanique was in the place and she's pregnant, very much pregnant. She does look beautiful though. That's a beautiful girl. She looks so sweet. And her and her boo, he got one of them complicated name, Bad Somebody. Something. It's like 3 parts. But she had posted on social media for us to mind our business. You don't know what celebrity, now I'm paraphrasing. You don't know the celebrity life we live. You don't know this. I'm tested 3 times because I'm on Hustle Family. I'm tested 3 times a week to do the filming. And I ain't tested positive once. So I'm good. So mind your business. I can be in a place. Nah, I might have put 10 on that. She might have just... But
it sounded
the tone is there.
I liked it.
The tone was there. She made it very clear, which brings me to my point, sis. Celebrity culture overall is suffering. The people who thrive off of love, the crowd, the making, the creation, the stardom of it all, the VIP of it all. That ego is bruised down to the white meat, baby. And that stuff is oozing open, I believe, with all these doggone parties. And then the have and the have-nots. I started looking at some of the comments in the shade room. Oh, the very shade room. The comments is what sends me. The comments and the shade room knows this. They're very masterful at this. Time Magazine, they made it. Shout out to them. We take nothing from them. Sis, I'm so glad that we realize that just ain't our lane anymore. We don't want to be the duo of Wendy Williams out here. We could. Oh, we could eat William, girl. Wendy Williams. I don't want nobody thinking I was calling her William. No. But my point being, there was a moment in those comments. One lady was like, I need to mind po folks' business. Somebody else was like, well, if I had money, see, y'all broke. There was even a couple of other celebrities like, we know y'all don't understand. But when you got access, when you got it like that, the comedy clubs have been full. Dave Chappelle been in Atlanta 3, 4, 5. I think hell, he still might be there. I don't know.
He's been working, and I watched his special on David Letterman, the little show that David Letterman has, and he talked about how he was having these comedy shows, but he was having the comedy shows outside. And people still had to wear masks and things like that. But then he's been going other places into comedy clubs. And I'm just like, Dave Chappelle, because, he likes to, get a drink and get a cigarette. Yes. And I'm just like, Dave, if it's airborne and you sucking in a cigarette, you about to get you some COVID. It's stressful. It is really like, it is. I am worried just about people generally, but then when I see people out and about without masks or pictures of that, then you get like stressed out. You just be like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing?
Black royalty, the second generation. I mean, sis, there's a video out that visualizes it. I think I might have sent it to you DM. It's on my Twitter. But it's a video that sensitizes. They take marbles, different colored marbles, 260,000 of them to represent 260,000 people at the time of this podcast who have died from COVID-19. Sis, by the time, and you got to watch the whole video. I kid you not, sis, by the time the last marble dropped, I was sobbing because 27 of those marbles I know or know of. When I thought about the amount of celebrities that were all out and things in one event, in one moment, how much could we lose? Jeremiah just got off the ventilator.
He just got off the ventilator.
Jeremiah just got off the ventilator.
He didn't even have any pre-existing conditions. He's
a healthy young man.
A healthy young man.
You see them 9-packs when he talk about bedroom sex. Hey, nephew. We wish you was a speedy recovery to your full self.
For yourself. Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
But he just got out. I mean, y'all was scared and terrified, but not enough to stay up in the house. There was a group in New York. Y'all had 400 people in a club where the liquor was free flowing. Free flowing. The DJ was on several floors. Baby, they was twerking their heart out. You hear me? Twerking their heart out.
They just busted somebody for having an undercover party in one of these neighborhoods in Chicago, too. And, but sis, the reality is that you don't have to go far to realize where these types of notions are coming from. Because it was reported that there are, I believe, either 10 or 15 White House sponsored Christmas parties that are still happening. And that masks are optional. Not required.
Not required.
When the president had COVID, everybody who went into that Supreme Court super spreader event, so many got sick. I mean, yes. We still ain't seen Chris Christie good. We've seen a tweet or two, but that could be coming from his camp. So why would you? Again, you don't care.
And all the rallies.
Don't care.
All the rallies.
Just
leading up to the election, all of that. The motorcycle rally that was in, our indigenous brothers and sisters. I've been following a lot of the artists and the makers of that community, specifically. And baby, they hurting bad out in South Dakota. Indian Nation is down. Mm-hmm. Our brothers and sisters in the indigenous communities are hurting.
Suffering
badly. They said 1 in 800 folks in South Dakota are dying.
Yes.
From COVID-19. And most of them are in the tribal communities.
It's not a joke.
The First Nations are hurting. We're lifting our brothers and sisters that are kinfolk in other tribes, literally.
Yes.
We're lifting you up. We are. We're concerned about so much. Stay your butt in the house. And if you ain't in the house, when you're out, mask up. That's all. Sis, it's really that simple.
I just don't understand. And look, I understand how uncomfortable the masks are. I understand that people
I'm tired of it too.
I'm tired of it too, but you better believe I got my mask so high, sis, I be bumping into stuff because it part way cover my eyes. I'll be like, wait, hold up, mask up, and put the mask down so I can see where I'm going. Like, I'm not trying to be out there unless I absolutely have to be out there.
Right.
And if I'm going out there, I'm going out there to be safe because I would not want to bring anything back here to my people in my house. And more importantly, I just don't want to test the odds. I've already had my brush with death as a result of a health situation. 2015, 2 surgeries later, 50, staples and 17 stitches. I'm good. Split from the root to the tooth. You know what I'm saying? Got all type. My stomach looks like a race car track. It's like all. I'm good.
Right.
I'm straight. I don't want nothing else.
Ooh, have mercy, God.
Not the flu.
Girl.
My allergies be acting up. I'll be mad. I'll be like, you know what? This is not the time. Ragweed. This is not the time.
Ooh, that ragweed.
So, we want you.
That's the weed you don't want.
That's the weed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right. That's the weed that should be illegal. Ragweed. All the others.
Woo.
Free people.
Lord have mercy.
Free people.
Girl. Sis,
I think we done fussed about COVID enough. Okay.
I know. Now the last thing we gonna fuss about.
Oh boy.
Baby. Sis, again, the shade room. The shade room. This True Kitchen situation in Dallas. Now we going to Texas. Deep in the heart of Texas.
Yeehaw.
Yippee-ki-yay.
They got good Texas and barbecue.
Ooh,
I was
girl.
gonna say they got good Texas and barbecue. I'm laughing too much. They got good barbecue in Texas.
Girl, listen, I heard you, and I'm immediately in Austin, Texas, sitting at this barbecue joint that I stood in line for 2 hours to wait for. When I tell you, I told them I need to speak to the manager immediately before I even placed my order. I looked at that man. I said, not only am I 2 hours outside of your restaurant, and now I'm seated in your establishment, I'm from Michigan. I want to see what Texas barbecue is all about. Baby, when I tell you, I said that right there, I instantly got friends. These people wanted me to go back and tell them how good the barbecue was. Sis, I wish I could remember the name of that place.
There's a barbecue place in Texas called Salt Lick.
It wasn't that.
Oh, it was so good.
But it was in in the big college town. And baby, that food was everything. It was barbecue, and the sides was right too, sis.
Yes, because if your sides ain't together,
I can't mess with you. I can't.
We can't trust you. We can't trust, because the sides are supposed to help to further develop the flavor of the main. You know what I'm saying? It's like a palate cleanser that's then washed with sauce just to bring you back in. You know what I'm saying? Be like, oh, you went too far with that little sweet potato. But guess what? Get this sauce on you. You be like, ooh. Yes.
Good.
I love me some good barbecue, girl.
Me too, girl. Me too. But baby, we going to Texas to True Kitchen. Now, according to the pictures, at least before this story happened, the food was good and people were raving about it. Girl, I saw that picture of that shrimp and grits and that crab cakes. Sis, she felt full just looking at the picture. The food looked fantastic.
Looked tasty.
Now, if you have not been following and getting caught up, it is hashtag True Kitchen. It's a Dallas Black-owned restaurant. And when I tell you, the brother that owns the place, Kevin King, I believe is his name, he must be a Kappa, because I'm noticing the K's like cocktails instead of a C is spelled with a K. I've noticed that Ricky Smiley. Hey, Ricky Smiley, what up, Q? Hey, Q. He has had him on his show, and I felt a little Divine Nine-ish connection there. But the brother went off. He was tired of people twerking in his establishment. Now, let me set this stage with this story. Yes, there was a DJ. Yes, said DJ played twerk music. DJ set it off. Yes, it was brunch time, but they didn't do mimosas. They was doing tequila and orange juice. Everybody. I heard that the wait was at least 2 hours, because the kitchen was slow. But he lost it. The brother lost it when, he came out there. He was like, if you want to twerk, I'm paraphrasing, you go on and do that. You don't do that at Applebee's. And you don't take that on out of here. I don't need your money. You can get the F out of here. Don't be twerking in here. No twerking, no twerking. Now, you got the gist. Sis, I have 3 points to make, and then the floor is yours.
Yes, ma'am.
Point number 1. You are in the middle of a pandemic. Still. You are in a very crowded restaurant, according to all the video evidence from several angles. If somebody had a straight panoramic that I saw. The DJ wasn't far from the food and the people. I mean, wasn't no social and not a mask in place except for the owner, but he took his mask down to cuss these folks out. Point 1, you're still in a pandemic. Point 2, you really can't twerk everywhere anytime you feel like it. I don't care what the DJ is playing. I don't care what the ambiance is. I don't care what might be popping off. I don't care if you got tequila and orange juice in your system to the point where it's pouring out of your nose. You cannot twick and twerk and tick and tock everywhere you want to all the time. There might be consequences to that. And clearly in this case, you were recipients of this consequences. Unless I'm at a strip club, and I've heard they got the bomb buffets, the brothers that, ain't really comfortable, they download strip club patrons. They always say, well, they had the seafood buffet. Yeah.
Right. They got good wings.
Yeah. I don't think they was trying to eat nothing on the menu. I'm just saying, but I'm leaving that alone. Point being, sis, you in an establishment that is out in the very public in the middle of a pandemic. You already don't have on a mask. Do you need to necessarily flop your butt cheeks? We already know folk ain't bathing like they need to in the middle of this pandemic. No shade to the twerkers. You know, I don't know. And for the record, I ain't seen nobody that said, oh, it was funky in there when I ain't seen that. Don't start that. Don't you tell people the Pisces life say, well, they said it stunk up in it. Don't you get that out there on us. No. For the record, we ain't seen nothing but it says just the way all of this airborneness is set up. I don't want the COVID and dewy flower problems. I don't. Not everybody nurtures the dewy flower
appropriately, you know. Some of it been marinating, you know. Doctor's appointments is virtual, and you know things ain't got checked up on.
Girl, but I said you at point 3, and I'll close. Brother Kevin, my good brother. First of all, thank you for creating an establishment for people like us, people of the culture, Black people. Thank you. But brother, you went so left. Point 3A, don't cuss the people out there spending their good hard-earned or good gotten money. You don't know what people doing to feed themselves during this pandemic. And if they are taking the time and the chance to spend that dough with your establishment, you can't go off like that. You can't go off like that. You can't. Point B, brother, you need to decide what kind of establishment you're going to be. As a matter of fact, you know, we know somebody or two that do consultations for businesses that help them get them lives together.
Certainly.
Okay, on the Yelp, it says use a nightclub with food. But then out your mouth, you says use a restaurant.
Yes.
With a DJ. You could have pulled that DJ to the side and been like, look, my man, this is the vibe that I want. Here's the playlist of the artists.
Yes.
Now, it sounded to me like you was trying to create an ambiance. But then the people tell me, sis, and I got eyes in Dallas. The people have told me that this is indeed true. There is a sign on the door that, you know, puts a dress code and all of these things. You know, don't come in here looking any kind of way with you, any kind of stuffs on. Now, I'm also say, according to the video evidence from that night, that just wasn't nobody on the door. Wasn't nobody on the door for clothes. Wasn't nobody on the door for attire that night. So you might have got what you got because people are confused about who you are. So are you going to be a nightclub or are you going to be a restaurant? Are you going to have a DJ that sets an ambiance that ain't Twerk City? You could have handled that much more differently. And then the final point, which honestly, it rubs my spirit the wrong way because it puts my self-identity into a space that irritates me. You know, I've heard the B word thrown around me, the other B word, bougie. Well, listen, I might be all right. I might be. We've all been exposed to very different things.
Yes.
We have been. I would not appreciate you twerking in a restaurant if I have come into a place where I'm risking being out with other people in the middle of a pandemic. I wouldn't appreciate you twerking. However, if I had seen that that's what the vibe was, then I would have just got my food to go. Or not at all. I'll just not have that experience right now. But sis, the line has been out the door and wrapped around the corner. People are masked up and waiting in line to get to True Kitchen. So it ain't slowed that man's business down. But what it's left us in is in the residue, which I'm going to throw to you, the question, respectability. That's come up a lot. To me, I think respectability was a piece off. It was kind of tone deaf in this situation. But it could be kept on the hook when the man talked about, if black men were in here disrespecting y'all because you're showing your bodies or whatever he was saying, with the twerking and all of that, then you would want me to stop that. And then you want this. And then I'm trying to do. That's your messaging, sir. Your messaging. The respectability pieces of it, White folks want to tell us how to act. It's rooted. This has academically been studied. You and I both have read the research based on our respective work outside of this podcast space. Your thoughts?
My thoughts is I agree with you. Like, there is a way that you can express your displeasure without going off. And I think that we're all under a lot of stress. And if you, with your report, we can acknowledge that lines out the window, out the door, and people waiting, kitchen slow. Brother probably just was stressed. Sis, I was just trying to time my Thanksgiving dinner together and was slightly stressed. I let the cranberry. So I can't
ain't done yet.
Exactly. Why isn't this chicken cooking? So I can just imagine what that feels like, and to have all these people waiting and be in a restaurant that's it and the restaurant industry, hospitality industry that so desperately needs patrons.
Yes.
As they try to make their livings. Like, we forget that these restaurateurs and the chefs and the servers, like, they have families and homes and bills and those things. Cardinal folk don't care nothing about the fact that ain't nobody coming in here to eat. Mortgage people don't care nothing about the fact. So people have to make their living, and we are in this horrible cyclical economic response where we just don't have enough resources. A lot of us don't have enough resources to help us through this time.
Right.
And our government has turned its back on us, and we just are not being well cared for in this, tumultuous time, this public health crisis that we're experiencing. So I just think he snapped. There's a YouTuber,
Lord,
an Instagrammer. Her name is Just Jazzy. She has a family of 3 beautiful girls, and she has a son. His name is Carter. They call him Duty for short. And little Duty, I think he's 2, or I think he might be 2.
So cute. Too.
And he's so cute.
So cute.
And so little Duty was doing one of his little 2-year-old TikToks in his own way. He was bringing the moves in only a way the 2-year-old can. And at the end of the TikTok video is where they twerk.
So
they do their little hand movements or whatever, and then the music changes and you're supposed to twerk. And he apparently at 2 hates twerking. So he starts throwing a tantrum like, like, turn that off. And his mom is giggling at him because she was like, he does not like to see twerking. It makes him very upset. So it reminded me of the gentleman, the owner of Truth, who just lost his mind because the folks start twerking.
Like a 2-year-old.
Like a 2-year-old.
He had a complete meltdown.
He had
Brother
a meltdown.
Was tired.
He was tired, and it was just too much. And I believe he had built up a twerk resistance. This wasn't the first twerking that had happened on that day. This was like, why is every time I turn around? And again, we don't know where the brother came from. We don't know, how the brother was raised. We don't, maybe he's unaccustomed to people, hearing they jamming and breaking out in twerkdom as an inspiration point. Some of us break out in praise dancing. Some of us break out in twerks. It depending on how you was raised. Some of us praise dance and twerk together. It's part of our ministry. You know what I mean? So I believe, sis, that he just had enough. It was just, he's trying to create a vibe in his space. And he hasn't done the work to market the space and to design the experience to ensure that you get the appropriate vibe. If this was true kitchen fine dining.
Ooh, tone set.
tone set. If you have,
it's in the title.
If you have the DJ spinning, only neo soul versions of the twerk songs, the acoustic soul space.
He need to get that hidden beach playlist.
He need to get that. Let me send you a playlist, bro. You don't even need that DJ. That's an extra cost. Ooh. You go on and hit that playlist of acoustics, then people be like, toe tappy with it because it's still familiar enough, right, but not for like, oh, that's my jam. What's your zodiac sign? Pisces. We don't want that in the fine dining way. So I think that he probably needs to kind of rethink. The DJ means dance. No one I know brings a DJ into a space because they want everybody to be reserved. If you wanted to just, and I mean, in Chicago, you can have a live band, but if you throw on a cut that's a stepper's cut,
boom!
Oh, somebody's getting out of their seat to turn
in between tables
to turn and do a little bit of a dance. Dancing is freedom. Yes. And I understand that type of dance people may feel is offensive, booties shaking everywhere is sometimes overwhelming for people to consume. But I think that there was an opportunity for him to address that and not just go off. But again, like I said, I felt like this was not a one-time event. I believe that he's probably has had to redirect and just was frustrated with the behavior. But if you change the music, you change the tone. You know what I mean? Like it's that simple. You mean to tell me, Mr. True Kitchen Owner, that if the DJ break out with the dun 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 whoa whoa, you think people ain't gonna be
bopping
before I let go? Like,
hey,
like people, it's cultural.
Yes, it is.
But you can design this experience to be a bit more on the hotty-totty side, if you will, a little bit more upscale, if you will. That's the trend word that they try to use in the nightlife. But if your Yelp is listed as a nightclub and you had a visitor who was there 2 Sundays ago, was like, girl, we turned up. People were coming in for the turn up. You know what I mean?
And here we are.
And here we are. So I am hopeful that that brother continues to garner the success that he deserves. I am hopeful that he does a better job of keeping the COVID down and ensuring that people are safe and not in close quarters in that restaurant, because I saw the panoramic too, and it looked a little close, looked a little intimate up in there,
girl.
And so I want people to continue to patronize his business, but I want him also to take a couple of deep breaths and maybe talk to a friend and figure out a better way to communicate. It's clear that he doesn't have a PR person or a friend that's a PR person, because all of his statements, all of his quotables have just been foot in mouth,
Foot in mouth still, brother.
Foot in mouth. And it may really be how he feels. But part of designing the experience for your restaurant does fall in your lap. And if you don't want people dancing, then you probably shouldn't play dance music. You can't control how people dance. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Lord knows you can't.
Like if it's twerk worthy, and
even if it ain't, sis,
even if it ain't.
Twerking. They still twerking.
Exactly. Like, it's twerking, unfortunately and fortunately, depending upon what day and what you're doing. So I think that if he clarifies his intention for his restaurant, changes the DJ or at least changes the playlist, then that will eliminate all of that. And there are some people who are like, you don't go to Applebee's, and I get that. And I don't know if necessarily that comports to my feelings, because it feels like that comparison is rooted in like white justification. Like, in these establishments, you know how to act, but you get in the black place and you don't know how to act. And I don't think that it's that. No. I just think that we are in a pandemic and people are just looking to feel any bit of normalcy that they can. And going out to eat, and you said this early on when we did even our Current Flow series, that you miss being served, that you miss sitting in the restaurant and being served and having the waiter or the waitress, and just even that kind of conversation with people you don't even know. How you doing today? Ooh, and blah, 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 what's good, and all of that. So people are just fighting for normalcy, and I just feel like it was just the clash of the perfect storm. And it's too bad that the brother got caught on tape, because of course, everybody tape everything here. And right. I think that if he knew that he was going to go viral, that he certainly wouldn't have blew up in the way that he did. So I would have, all points well taken, well made. And I hear you on that last part. We live in a society where people are subject to record you without you knowing it or not. Mm-hmm. And, Well, when the outside open back up, sis, we're gonna have to make our way on over there and see what. I'm going to True Kitchen now. What the fuss is about. Since there ain't gonna be no twerking in there, it's a go for me. It's She's like, that's my type of sports. Baby, that's Auntie approved. That's Auntie approved. Hey. Oh my goodness. Well, sis. Yes. I feel like we covered it all. Baby, we done took care of all of it. All of the peoples. That's another edition of the Pisces Life. We thank you for listening and laughing with us. We hope that this episode and all of our episodes bring you good information, bring you thoughtful content, bring you moments of joy as we continue to push it out in COVID-19, 20, and 21. Amen. Covering all the years. All of them. If you have questions, suggestions, or comments, feel free to send us a quick email at thepisceslife@gmail.com or hit us up on our social media. We love to hear from our listeners. You can reach us on Instagram and Facebook at The Pisces Life. We're on Twitter as Pisces Podcast, 2 words. Sister, they're looking for you. Where can they find you? They can find me waiting for True Kitchen to get the green light. Yes. For be COVID free out of this pandemic. Yes. Because I'm going to go. I'm going to see what them shrimp and grits is about. Come on, shrimp and grits. Until then, they can find me at home in quarantine indefinitely. I want to get out here so bad. I need a vacation, sis. One where there are men, lots of men, fine ones, tall ones, black ones, brown ones. Yes, all the men's. All the men's. I will just be present so I can assist my sis hold her sunglasses when she got to get a better look at the men. I will not be looking. I will be just in the atmosphere, because I just need some sunshine and some water, sis. Ooh. Come on, sis. Come on. But until then, you can find me at IamJust Letitia, Letitia. Hey, I got a new thing now too. Ooh. DM me and be like, hey, I heard you on the Pisces Life, because I'm getting a lot of randos. I almost was in a sugar daddy entanglement. I didn't mean to. And it was with a Nigerian man, and I almost got married. I might be polyamorous right now and not know it. He said he gonna DM me some paperwork tonight. I don't know. The consulate might be. It's complicated. It's complicated. It's complicated. I just, I might be married already to some Nigerian prince. Oh, sis. Off of Instagram. I don't know.
He ain't asked me for my Cash App, so shoot.
Just go with it.
I'm gonna just go with it.
Go with it.
I'm gonna just go with it. You know, ain't nothing but conversation. That's all I got right now.
Exactly. Plenty of it.
You want to lie? Fine. I just, we ain't. The world is closed. We ain't never gonna meet. Fine. I'm actually the queen of Sheba. I don't tell people. I don't tell people. But since we in the pandemic and I can't be out and about, might as well be myself.
Oh, not the queen of Sheba.
Oh God. So sis, where can they find you at if they looking for you in these social media streets?
I am going to be making sure that none of my friends and family was down there in New Orleans at that swingers party. Friends and family, will you come? Will you come forth and identify yourself? Send me a DM at Kai Loves You on Twitter, KAILOVESU, or on Instagram. Just attitude to that. Kai Loves You too. We are out of here, y'all. Peace.
Two fish living in a dream. One swimming up, one swimming downstream. The Pisces Life.